What's up guys, it's Jared here, and today I'm going to be giving an introduction to strategy in the Pokemon trading card game. A lot of you are probably starting to go to League Challenges and League Cups as part of the 2024 World Championship season, and are probably kind of wondering, how the heck do I prepare for these tournaments? Do I just play the most popular deck? Do I just play in some cards that I want of one of the most popular decks? Well, what do I do? In my opinion, preparing for a tournament should always come from the strategy first, and then you can build your deck and your specific archetype off of your strategy that you want to play. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel, and let's get into it. So the first and obviously most important thing is know your matchups. Know how your deck beats every other major deck in the meta game. If there's any deck that's consistently doing well, and you can check Limitless as a good resource, or just Twitter, for example. If your deck can't beat these top decks, or you don't know how to beat these top decks, maybe you should reconsider what deck you're playing, or take some time to actually sit down and say, hey, how do I beat these decks? And how do I do it in a way where I can actually sit down in a stressful tournament setting and do it without thinking very much? So once you're past that part and you say, okay, I think I have a basic handle on these matchups, but I'm still going 5-3-1 at regionals, what do I do? So first off, you got to think about the prize map. So prize mapping is saying, how many prize cards do I need to take each turn to win? For example, if you're taking 2 prize cards each turn of the game, you're going to win the game in 3 turns, 2, 2, and 2. If you take one more turn doing that, like if you take 2 prize cards and then 1 and then 1 and then 2, it's going to take 4 turns to do that. So just doing that math in your head, and you can see what Pokemon that they have on their field, and you can say, hey, what do my attacks do? How much damage do my attacks do? How many gusting cards like Boss's Orders do I have access to? And how fast are they getting set up? So with all of these factors, you can pretty accurately determine how many prizes I can or feasibly can take every single turn. Sometimes prize mapping is really easy, like if you're playing against Mew VMAX and you run a Drapion, you can say 3 and then 3. I'm going to kill a Mew and then I'm going to kill another Mew. Sometimes prize maps can be a lot harder, like if you're playing against a Gardevoir deck. Gardevoir EX has only a couple things that give up 2 prizes, those being Gardevoir EX and Zacian V. Normally, they don't place down Zacian V unless they need it, and Gardevoir EX has a lot of HP to take down right away. So it might not be worth it to take the optimal prize route against Gardevoir, but if you can, then I would certainly recommend it. At NAIC, I played super greedily, so I tried to take as many prize cards as I could at the earliest possible time that I could. So I would just boss up Gardevoir and kill it with 6 energies and Chanpao, and that was the best way to win against Gardevoir sometimes, because they couldn't keep up with how fast I was taking prizes. I'm not saying you have to take prize cards as fast as possible. I'm just saying you have to take them faster than your opponent does. So keep a note of how fast your opponent can take prize cards and make sure that you can just do it faster. One aspect of this I would like to mention is disruption. If you disrupt your opponent with, let's say, a Judge, an Iono, or a Path to the Peak, you could prevent them from taking prize cards. So if you are, let's say, not taking prize cards as fast as they are, you can say, hey, at the end of the game, I'm going to play a Path and I'm going to play an Iono, and now you can't take any prize cards, so I'm just going to run away with the game. Not even that, but sometimes you can disrupt your opponent in ways you might not think, such as boss killing their only Baxcalibur if they're playing Chanpao. If you do this, they can't really take prizes unless they're playing a Palkia V-Star. If you see there's no Palkia V-Star and you see there's only one Baxcalibur and they don't have any energies on the board, then you can just kill the Baxcalibur. Even though you're only taking 1 prize in that case, you are saying, hey, now you can't take prizes. So I can take a freebie prize, and then maybe next turn I can take 2 prizes. So this leads me to the second main practice point that you should have going into tournaments, and that is knowing how your opponent wins the game. So this right here is what I genuinely believe separates any normal player such as me from a top player that consistently places in events. Not just knowing how my deck works, how I take all my prizes, oh, I can use Greninja because you have no mana fee, but actually saying, how do you win the game? And how do I prevent you from doing what you need to do. And you may think that this is kind of minimal because you say, hey, if I'm playing my deck optimally, why do I play a Path to the Peak and then they can't do anything? Why does it matter if I know what they're doing? It comes down to actually very, very small, minute details. So at NAIC, for example, Gardevoir has down an Artisan. I have a Lost City in my hand. I don't necessarily want to bump it because then technically mine can get bumped and I want to save the Lost City for when I can actually use it. But preventing the Artisan in some cases is worth the potential risk of having my stadium bumped. If they don't have any Ralts on the board, for example, they play an Artisan, they use the Artisan to grab a Ralt. You know that they don't have any Nest Balls, they don't have any Fog Crystals or Level Balls in their hand. So you can just bump the Artisan, even if you don't need the Stadium, to prevent them from having it. So you're saying, hey, I don't need this. I don't need to play this card to win the game for me, but I'm playing this card to make sure that you don't do your strategy and that you don't win the game. So with this, make sure to at least play every deck at least once. For every single meta deck, just build it on live if you can, or in person. You can proxy and practice with your friends. Actually sit down and play games with every single one of these meta decks. Really think about what they need to win the game, because if you are playing the deck, you get a much better understanding of, okay, I want to draw this. I need this to be on my board. I need to do this to my opponent in order to win the game. So if you can understand this from your opponent's point of view by playing every deck, which should include their deck, you now know what they are looking for and what they want you to do as their opponent. So a lot of this actually comes down to being able to get inside their head, making sure that you know what they know that they need to do. Actually for every match, just kind of observe the board state and look at your opponent and say, all right, I know what your deck does. I know what you're trying to do. Now show it to me. Show me the win, right? And if you adopt this mentality and you sort of kind of know what they're trying to go for at all points in time, at least for me, it makes me way more comfortable saying, okay, Lost Box, I've played against you before, and I know that you lose when this happens, so I'm just going to do that, and then you can't win. This also just makes you, way more comfortable going into tournaments, playing in these 9-round best-of-3 regionals. You can't prepare for every little tiny situation. What you can prepare for is general feelings, general lines of play, prize mapping, stuff like this. Overall, just kind of have a bird's eye view of the game. Imagine that you are watching your game, let's say on the Pokemon stream. You say, oh, well, I think he should do that. He has game, right? You probably do this all the time when watching streams, but when you're in the game, you sometimes get tunnel visioned. It's so easy to call out critiques and flaws when you're looking at somebody else's game because you don't have the pressure of being in a game and having to think about all your flower selectings and all your decisions. And I guarantee this is why you might not be placing as well in tournaments as you would like. You have to get past playing your deck and actually play the game. Master your deck to a level where you can say, hey, I know I'm playing this optimally. I don't think that I'm playing this optimally. I know I'm playing this optimally. And then take that confidence and actually play against your opponents and say, I know I'm doing my part. Now let's see what you're doing. Now let me use all of my resources instead of worrying about what cards I need in my hand, worrying about what cards you need in your hand. And yeah, it just gives you a lot more sense of confidence and comfort, and really just doesn't fry you out as fast as trying to get a Kyogre for 250s or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a better idea of the strategy that goes into the game. I would also recommend, if you want more practice, play a different card game like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or play chess. Chess is a great example of strategy. You have nothing holding you back. It is only strategy. There are no cards, there are no variants, there's no nothing. There's just how well that you can strategically play the game to beat your opponent. So yeah, strategy is not specifically tied to Pokemon. It's just kind of a part of your brain that you need to work out. And if you can work this part of your brain out and you get some practice in it, then you're just going to be a lot better in your tournaments. Again, I hope this helped everyone. Make sure to let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. I kind of want to do a different kind of vibe to my videos. I'll probably do some gameplay if we want as well. But yeah, that's about it from this one, and I will catch you guys next time.